Hi, and welcome to Praise Song Selection Tuesdays, and today's song is Jesus Will by Anita Wilson. So, keywords or the verse that I want to focus on today is when I'm in trouble, he gives me a song in the night season and all the day long. Who makes me do right when I do wrong? Jesus will, Jesus will. And I found this verse to be very interesting. So, the phrase that stuck out for me was, who makes me do right when I would do wrong? And I loved this song and I was bopping my head to it until I kept hearing that verse. It was that verse that gave me some flashbacks, some experience, made me feel, some type of way. So love the lyrics, love the song until I again got to that verse. So question one is, what does it mean when the songwriter or the singer says do right? What does that mean to do right? Number two, what's considered doing wrong? And number three, what does it mean when it says Jesus will? So again, those are just keywords that you want to, focus on. Again, the questions are, what does it mean when the singer says do right? Number two, what's considered doing wrong? And number three, what does it mean by Jesus will? What is it that Jesus is doing in that verse? Section two, developing a concept. How do you relate to this verse? And again, I don't mind sharing my experience or giving examples, but questions are: one, what did I do or done presently that is offending God? Number two, what are my fleshly struggles that tempts me to step out of character? Again, when I want to do right, I do wrong. So talk about experiences that you are going through, or just give examples how it relates to you. And this is very good exercise because this prevents you from pointing the finger, you. Again, you want to relate to songs and talk about your experience. You don't have to put all your stuff out there, but just gives examples that hits close to home and help you to develop and build a vision and the concept behind the song. Number three, what will Jesus do to set me straight? Or what does he do to keep me on the straight and narrow? So again, it's a struggle between flesh and the spirit. So again, if I'm tempted to make a certain decision, what is it that Jesus does that pulls me right back in line? So that's a very good question to analyze. And number four, how many times did it take you to get it right? A lot of times, God will discipline us and bring us back in and bring us back in, but we're so hard-headed and we don't like to listen. So a lot of times we find ourselves bumping heads against God, and we just don't want to listen. We want to have our own way, and then finally it's God, he puts in a situation where we can't help but to submit and yield to what he has to do to pull us back in line. So I'll do the questions again. So number one was, what did I do, past tense, or what am I presently doing that's offending God? What am I doing to hurt his feelings or to make him angry, or wants to make him pull out that belt and beat my behind just to put me back in place? Number two, what are my fleshly struggles that's tempting me to step out of character? Here I am on the straight and narrow, I'm focused, and here comes this situation coming back years later that wants to bring me back to my old nature, bring me back to that old man, just reflecting on how I used to be as an old person. Number three, what will Jesus do to set me straight? Or what steps does he take to put me on the straight and narrow? And be honest, like I said, you don't have to put all your drama out there. You don't have to put all your skeletons out there, but just give examples and relate it to dance. And number four, how many times did it take me to get it right? And like I said, this is just, personal reflections and just being honest, how this song, relates to you. Number three, you want to summarize your experience with keywords. So keywords that, struck me was discipline, potter, the clay, the shaping and the molding, flesh versus spirit. And I also got the image of, being spanked, spanking that behind. Hard head makes a soft behind. So constantly, I'm doing something wrong. God is, tapping me. You know better. Get it together. Get it together. Okay? So those are the keywords. And again, it's discipline, the potter, the clay, the shaping and the molding, flesh versus spirit, and spanking. And I came up with 3 Bible verses, which was very key and really spoke to me. So when it came to the keywords discipline and, spanking that behind, getting you on a straight and narrow, I came up with Hebrews chapter 12 verses 5 and 6. And it reads, "And have you completely forgotten this word of encouragement that addresses you as a father addresses his son? It says, 'My son, do not make light of the Lord's discipline and do not lose heart when he rebukes you, because the Lord disciplines the one he loves and he chastens everyone he accepts as a son.'" So again, that verse really reminded me and dug deep when it spoke about, discipline and God disciplining his children and bringing them back on the right track. The potter and the clay, shaping and molding. And I came across Jeremiah chapter 18 verses 1 and 6. And that reads, "This is the word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord. Go down to the potter's house, and there I will give you my message." So I went down to the potter's house, and I saw him working at the wheel. But the pot he was shaping from the clay was marred in his hand. So the potter formed it into another pot, shaping it as seemed best to him. Then the Lord came to me. He said, "Can I not do with you, Israel, as this potter does, declares the Lord? Like clay in the hand of the potter, so are you my hand, Israel." So again, that just gives a powerful image how God, is just taking the clay and shaping it and forming it as he pleases. And the last verse I came up with, and it's a long one, flesh versus spirit, and you can read it for yourself. That's Romans chapter 7 verses 14 through 25, and it gives a very detailed and descriptive image of the flesh and spirit constantly at war. But the key verse that I want to read is verse 21, and it says, "So I find this law at work. Although I want to do good, evil is right there with me." And that's very key. So you're trying to do right all the time, and then you have situations that bring up fleshly temptations that you're tempted to go that way, just indulge in the flesh, just a little bit, you just want to tease and dab, just step on a little side, just dance with it and then jump right back on the other side. So you're tempted, to do those things. So again, the verse is Romans chapter 7, the key verse is 21. It says, "So I find this law at work. Although I want to do good, evil is right there with me." And the last part, section 4, title of the praise dance. So the titles that I came up with was "The Potter in the Clay," "Ouch, That Hurts," "A Hard Head Makes a Soft Behind," and "Jesus Will." Will as in WHEEL. And the second one really speaks to me because it's Jesus who puts you on the wheel, or again, the potter in the clay, and he's molding you and he's shaping you and he's cutting away the edges, and he's keeping you on the straight and narrow. Whatever it takes, he's going to keep you on the wheel, and he's going to train you just to keep you on track. So when I want to get off, and do my own thing, God is like, I didn't take you off this wheel. I'm training you because you have somewhere to go. You have to stay here. You have to do this my way because I'm the potter. You are the clay. Who are you to judge me and tell me what to do? I am the creator. You are the creation. So again, those are the titles that I came up with. All right, guys. So thank you for Praise Song Selection Tuesday. Inbox me, subscribe to this channel. Again, if you have suggestions, I would love to, work on your songs and everything else. So again, so we can create dialogue and be interactive. All right, guys. Be blessed. And again, the song was "Jesus Will" by Anita Wilson. All right, guys. Be blessed. And I'll see you next week.